Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online. And we are here for a round 5 match in the 10 Ball Masters 2020 between Albinario and Stub, Real Poland Power, but Stub we all know him as. And that match is due to start any second, but I'll give you the news. Albinario sent me a message on Facebook. He was asking what the timeout is to confirm if it was 10 minutes, and I told him it was 10 minutes, so he might be maybe more than last minute before he arrives. So we wait in anticipation. The room should be going up any second, maybe another minute or so. And well, I'm going to go over the rules again for anybody who's just joined us. Welcome anybody or everybody who's arrived. We have well, Albinario's arrived. He's here in time. We have a race to 14. No jump queues. Jumps are allowed. It's winner breaks. It's a call shot game. All combos and banks should be called. 60-second shot clock, 60-second extension, and I think that is about it. So we've got the big match up coming between these two. On paper, from performances in the tournament, Albinarius had one sort of bad match, but in terms of control of the cue ball, he would be favourite. Stub, of course, has different ideas. He's going to bang his way out of trouble. It's all to do with how lucky you get in the break, how the balls lie, whether your opponent breaks dry, you have a shot, you run out. I mean, we all know what can happen, but there's a bit of good running, bit of bad running, that could make the difference. So I think it could be close. It could be very close. And well, the room is up. So in we go. Now, just to remind you guys, I'm using XSplit Broadcaster today, so I'm looking at the chat on my second monitor, which is always a bit dicey. Where are we? Colour. Alright, I never get a chance to change it, so here we go with the lag. I think now who? Well, the waggly cue would be Stub usually. And Albinario has won the lag, and he's going to break off. What's the volume like, guys? Is it too loud or what? And the break is dry, I think. Miscellaneous. And we'll go to blue. That's good. Right. Well, first dry break. Stub at the table. Shot in the one. And dare I say it, he should be out. These balls are sitting very nicely. He needs to get himself around the corner. Now this could go wrong if he goes too far around the corner and hooks himself between the 6 and the 10. He might even run into the 9. He's checking the cue ball to avoid the 9. Yeah, it was difficult to judge. He could have taken a risk and run behind the 9, but he checked it with right hand English to avoid running into the 9, and it's not come out. So let's see if he gets his safety good. And of course, with the balls lying the way they are, the first sniff that Albinario gets, you'd expect him to do the same. You'd expect him to run out. Oh yeah, I've definitely got food in the house now, I can assure you. You know what I did? I bought 2 packets of what do you call them? cashews. I haven't had cashew nuts for a while, so I bought 2 packets, the wee cheap ones out of Tesco, and I had also bought a couple of the puff pastry mince pies, just fresh baked today. Got 2. So I thought, I haven't had my dinner. I haven't actually had a dinner. I thought I'm going to have my dinner late on because I don't go to work tomorrow. So I had a cup of coffee and a couple of those mince pies. They were lovely. And then I decided, I know what I'll have. I need something else. I'll just open this bag of cashew nuts. Well, that was a fatal mistake because you know, once I start eating cashew nuts, that is it. I mean, I just ate a lot of them. I made a pig of myself. I do love cashew nuts. And that is 1 bag opened and 1 bag gone in the space of half an hour. I'm just a pig when it comes to cashew nuts. Well, Stub, can he see the 2? I think he can. Let's have a quick look around. No, he can't. He's just blocked out on the edge by that 10 ball. Yeah, again, difficult to judge the little massey around the 10, but the finish hasn't worked out. So Albinario has a chance to make a statement right here in the first rack from the first good chance he has. So let's see what he can do. Well, straight away the pace is pretty good. Oh, I mean, cashew nuts definitely have an after effect in the morning, that's true. Who's that? See, I need to get out my chair to see the names. Oh, good evening, Mark. What's there as well? Yeah. So 4 ball to the 5. Can he avoid the 7 ball in the right rail, because the cue ball wants to go close to that 7 ball on the right rail. The angle he's got in this 4, without him doing an awful lot more with the cue ball. Yeah, I think that's one thing that was concerning him there, is trying to avoid that 7. Well, Albinario's had his chance, and the chance is gone, and so from winning the lag, Albinario looks like losing the rack. And I'm going to test, I can't change it, that's the thing. I tried messing with changing the colours, and I can change the colours of the name of the person that's chatting, but I can't change the colours of the chat, believe it or not, which is weird. But that's actually XSplit Broadcaster that does that. Remember, the chat that's appearing on the screen is from Restream. It's not through XSplit or anything like that. It's just the same chat that appears on my XSplit Gamecaster screen when I'm playing. Well, Stub, I presume he called the middle pocket there. I was looking at the chat, but it's a thin cut, but he shouldn't have a problem. So Stub has stolen the first rack against the break. Now let's see where he's going to break from. Right in the middle, no messing about. Watch the 2 ball. Now you see it glanced at 9 there. That 2 ball was going in. We've talked about this, or at least I've talked about this in a couple of the matches, with the 2 ball on the break. If it gets a clean run, it's going to generally go right around the angles and go into that bottom right hand corner pocket. It won't happen all the time, but when it does get a clean run, it will go in. So we've had 2 breaks, we've had 2 dry breaks, and I don't think Albinario has got anything on here other than, well, he hasn't called a combo, but he's played the billiard off the 4, which is clever. And Albinario will want to respond ASAP. And well, the 6 ball is, it could be a problem, but the good thing is where the 4 and 5 ball are, because they're the top end of the table, the same as the 6. So the 6 can easily be played into the right middle. Good evening, any latecomers, those who have missed popping up in the chat because I can't see them. Well, this is the, well, what you would say is the important part of the visit. Get the 4, get the 5 and get the 6, and the problem from the 6 is to the 7, dependent on the angle that Albinario leaves himself. Because if we look at that 6 from this side, you know, that angle becomes more awkward the less straight you are on that 6. Ideally he would want to be coming into the middle of the table for this 7, and I think that's the idea he has in mind here. The angle he's got means he can cut the 6. He's got to have the pace in it though, just to get the cue ball out for this 7. He can't baby this in, has to knock it in, and it's a tight angle. But again, was there ever a doubt? He's played it pretty well. Now he could go forward and just go around the angle if he wanted, or he can just kill it stone dead, but he's then leaving a testy angle in the 8. He might be drawing back here by the look of it. No, big stun. Now this one is the testy angle because he does not want to run into that 10 ball. If he hits the rail, he's going to be dangerously close to it. Well, he's drawn away. He's going to be playing this long, and now it should be plain sailing. Just drop the 9 in and we'll be all square. I'll have a quick drink. So Albinario returns the favour. Albinario isn't breaking from where the cue ball is placed on the reset, he's breaking on the line, whereas Stubb broke from where the cue ball just appears once it's re-racked. But Albinario has a ball in the break. It's going to be a long combo, but let's be honest, the only problem ball could be the 1 if it goes to the top rail. Well, he's missed a combo and it has gone to the top rail. And then the other problem is the 10 ball. Now that 10 ball needs looking at. It's off the rail. Now what button? I'm just looking to see what button my replay button is. Number 2. We'll see if that works, because it's a little while since I've used Broadcaster, and the other thing is there was an update to it as well. Now the 9 ball down in the bottom right hand corner, from the 9 to the 10, has got to be accurate. You've got to try and get that cue ball flush to the rail to make the 10 an easy pot. It is not an easy pot where it's sitting, especially if your cue ball's out in the table. So Stubb having to dig out an escape. hasn't called anything. Well, he called the one into the corner, but the cue ball scratched. 10 balls now off the rail, and Albinario with ball in hand looks as if it's the drawback. Well, this is the first one that's he's got to judge well. There's nothing on here. Obviously 2 goes into this corner, but that's not ideal to try and get the cue ball over there, so he's probably just going to draw back, and drawing back for position is never great. It never affords you great accuracy. You've got to judge these very well. He could either overhit this or underhit it. The chances of getting it perfect are not great, but the touch is pretty good again. Now, is it just can he just hit that dead straight and just draw back? Yeah, just a stunt. So the 5 ball is now the other problem. Now you can go in between the 5 and 9. Oh dear, I think it's gone badly wrong, and he's locked himself behind a 9. And well, this is what I'm talking about. These are just the roll of the ball is what will make the difference. I mean, the 2 players can pop balls, that's never in doubt. It's just things like this that can scupper your chances. So it's going to have to be the usual, the old hit and hope, call a pocket and just hope you get lucky. Well, he's wanting distance and he'll take that every day. It'll do very nicely, but I still don't believe Stubb will be put off. He's already had a look at the cut, and I mean, this is thin, but again, there's a safety on. If you just clip the left hand side and run for cover down here in the bottom right, somewhere near the 9, you shouldn't leave an awful lot on. But is he going to line up the cut? Sometimes you might not know when to actually leave things well alone. This is not easy. Be right back, 5 minutes, got a cut. Meat, is that a euphemism for something? Well, that's some cut by Stubb. All out for the pot, and that's the way he's going to play. I don't think he'll ever change. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So now he just needs to make sure. Now, the problem there's the 10 ball. He wants to come up the left hand side of the table, or get over to the left hand side to leave an open pocket for the 8, rather than running up the right hand side, because it's a narrower margin to get into. So he's got to watch himself here. And the pace is pretty good. That's well played. Always best to overhit that, because you know fine well if you overhit it, you're still going to come up the table and see the 8 ball. And now a drop in, and a 2-1 lead that could have been Albinario's had it not been for running out of line and behind the 9 ball. But that's what happens. Just overhit it. And Stubb. Now, I never noticed there. Let me have a wee check if this will work. What did I say that was? 2. Just overhit it. Yeah, just checking the replay there to see where Stubb broke from. Well, he's got the 2 ball in the break. Not the best of safeties, because Albinario can see most of the 1. In fact, he might be able to see all of it. In fact, he can. So it was not a good safety by Stubb. And Stubb will be kicking himself here, because Albinario should not have been able to see that 1 ball. And now to drive the message home, Albinario has to take it out this time. Well, the replay worked. Oh, good evening, Has, wherever you are. I can't see you in the chat. I would have thought he'd have been stuck in Madrid. That's our pubs and restaurants up in the central belt in Glasgow and those areas. They're all shutting down again from, I think it's Friday. Well, he's the wrong angle in this 6 ball. Cue ball running up to the right hand side of the table, and I think there's too much angle on this 6 to be trying to do fancy stuff with inside English here. He's going to have to run it. No, he's going to have to play it long. How does that look? Well, that's fine. Shouldn't have any problem here. But this is going to be from a Stubb safety error. If Albinario can take this out, and he's left that short. Well, that's the first one he's gone short on. And it's well, the first error was ending up behind the 9 on that second rack, and now he's left himself the high cut in the 8. He's got a good bit of running there, running into the 10. Well, Nicola Sturgeon says she doesn't want to do the big lockdown again. It's all down to how folk behave. I mean, when's common sense going to prevail with people? It's common sense. You can still go out and about if you don't act like numpties, and that's what a lot of people are like. Anyway, we are back all square. Stubb has duly been punished for his mistake, and Albinario breaking off in rack number 5. The 2 ball is gone, and now is he going to risk the billiard onto the 9? In fact, he might actually have to try. I don't have my my little lines to show you, but if he brushes the 1 and goes to the rail at the right point, he can come off that rail and chip the 9 in rather than trying to go to it direct. I think that's what he's trying. Yeah, he's missed it. Not easy to judge, but that's what he was trying. Now, is Stubb going to resist this 9 ball? No, he isn't. He looks as if... Well, can he see enough of that to cut the 1? Yes, he can. Oh, and he's had the double kiss. 9 refusing to go. It will certainly go this time though. It's thin, this 1 ball. Now, if Albinario can, he wants to hit this fairly gentle and just get it to the 9. Now, is he playing the billiard? Yeah. Maybe needed a wee bit more pace. In fact, I thought he would have tried it the other way. I thought he would have tried playing it gentle with the 1 cut onto the 9. That way the 1 would have still been there, but he's still got a shot, but not easy. And he has to run this cue ball or stop it. If he runs, he's in danger of going into the 7. He stopped it, but decided it wasn't worth the risk, and he's got a decent safety, plenty of space there to jump the 10. Well, that's going to be the missed call. In fact, it was a foul anyway. So this is Albinario's chance to get back into the lead, ball in hand, and he's looking at the 110 straight away. Stubb doesn't like it. I'll tell you what, he'll certainly like it if Albinario doesn't get this in. But in it goes, and it's a quick rack for Albinario. And the 3 ball is gone, the 1 ball is gone, and well, if you think about it, the shot he's got here, he could cut that 2 into the top left and play a semi-safety shot. That is to say that the cue ball should have him on the 4 if he misses the 8 ball, and if he gets lucky in the cue, well, he's not risking it. And has he got cover? No, he hasn't. So now the pendulum swings to Stubb. He's got a chance to immediately square the match. Well, we don't get any temperature checks in our bloody job. No, they don't go to that level. It was only 2 days ago that we actually get handed, we each got 2 washable face coverings, and of course it tells you on the packet and the outside, it said that they're not PPE. They're just for the sake of covering your face. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. They don't offer you any enhanced protection. Well, the big stun, how many times have I said it, and how many times have you seen it? The big stun in these pockets, if you don't get it there clean, it ain't going in, and that is a chance that has gone away there for Stubb, and it will hurt even more if Albinario can find the line to drop down onto this 9. It's a tough cut in the 4 to start with. Well, the nudge in the 7 hasn't helped. Let's have a look. Well, that's off the rail. It makes it a bit easier to cheat the pocket a wee bit. As long as he doesn't punch it straight to the rail, this should go in. And has to judge the pace as well, unless he wants to go up and down the table into the middle of the table for the 6. And the pace again looks pretty good to me. That's been one thing about Albinario through most of the tournament, is he's got the touch pretty quickly. Well, let's look at the 7. Well, the 7 goes. And Albinario's fallen into the same trap. He's gone for the big stun, taking his eye off the pot, and Stubb can't believe he's back at the table. And well, in the blink of an eye, from looking like opening up a 2-rack lead, Albinario's thrown it away. and we're going to be all square again. And of course, a reminder, guys, that the winner of this match is going to go through to play Spectre Dawn, which I think will be the hot seat match. That will be to see who is the first player in the final. And for anybody who doesn't know, there was a match played last night when I was away at my dinner, and that was between Semi-Pro and Jover. Semi-Pro cruised through that match in the one-loss side by 10 racks to 2. Well, Albinario, that is another error, and has he got away with it again? Yes, he has. There is no path to the one from here, and there is no path to the one from up there. Now Stubbs looking at 3 rails here. He's looking long the left side rail, short rail, in between the 4 and, if that's the 3 ball that's down there, and then onto that 1 ball. But the path is there. I mean, the path is there to get to that 1 ball. This will be a cracking shot if he pulls this off. Now what's he looking at too? I mean, I think he's given it serious thought. That's the shot he's going for. 1, 2, 3, and onto that 1 ball. So he's picked his line. And this is the only way to get anywhere near that 1. Oh, that is absolutely perfect, and that is unlucky. That is so unlucky to have played it at that pace and for the cue ball to fall in. It took him a while to get his line, and well, that was just sheer bad luck that the cue ball dropped in behind it. And Albinario with ball in hand, and Albinario has had his share of luck there with that one, missing the 1, leaving nothing on for Stubb. Stubb getting his line for the 3 rail kick to the 1, pots the 1, and just enough pace for that cue ball to follow it in. Any glance on that 1 ball, it would have been perfect, but just straight onto it. So Albinario has been reprieved in a way. Should be 4-2 up, but has been given the chance to at least get back in front. Well, you drop this in stone dead and you'll get a nice little angle in that 8 ball. Has he gone dead straight though? No, he's got an angle. Well, if it keeps up like this, we could be heading all the way. Good evening, Ross. Good evening to anybody else who's joined us. So Albinario back in front, and we're waiting on the one player, whoever that might be, who's going to get that 2 rack advantage. And look at the mess we've got here. So Albinario's break dry, and there could be a bit of dirty tricks going on here once we get to this 2-ball. And if Stubb, I think the angle he's got in this one isn't perfect because he's running into the 8 and he doesn't want to block himself off in the 2, so he wants to be able to hit that 2 full in the face just to punch it away and leave Albinario buried behind a 3. And we could have a 3 foul attempt here by Stubb, because I don't think there's any value in potting the 2. If he gets ball in hand, absolutely none whatsoever, because he can't get to the 3. Well, Albinario can get behind the 9 to possibly hit the rail and chip the 2 at the same time here, and this could backfire on Stubb. Is he looking to check that cue ball? He's looking up there. I thought he would be going behind the 9 on the left side. He's looking to check this with loads of left English to straighten the cue ball, and this just multiplies the difficulty. What a shot. We have got to see that again, guys. That is a brilliant shot by Albi. Left side. He's looking to check this with loads of left English to straighten the cue ball, and this just multiplies the difficulty. What a shot. We have got to see that again, guys. That is a... Well, we've seen an excellent kick by Stubb with unfortunate results, and we've seen a shot there by Albinario where, I mean, there's not many players would attempt it, but you need loads of left English so that you're going against the way the cue ball wants to go entirely. So you have to check it with loads of left to straighten the cue ball up, and to judge that with one attempt like that off the bat was superb. I think we have went up in quality so far in what we've seen, but that was shot of the night so far, that one. Albinario singing his praises there, and now he's missed a 3, and the 4-3 lead might be short-lived here, because he's given Stubb the chance again. Well, that is nowhere near where you want to have the cue ball, and Stubb, of course, I don't know whether he can see this. Yes, he can, but he's back to his usual routine. He's having to dig himself out of holes here. Oh, and he's got lucky big time there, almost scratched. But as I say, and I say it time and time again, sooner or later you will run out of these shots, and it will cost. You can't keep pulling off those shots. Now, I think he's maybe, what's the angle like? He's actually got slight, he can pinch an angle. Now, should be no problem getting on the 9, and we should be all square, but it's another unforced error from Albinario. That's twice Albinario has had the chance to open the gap, and twice he's failed, and twice he's let Stubb back into it. Well, that's Stubb's biggest weakness, is that he relies so much on his potting, he doesn't focus on the pace of that cue ball for better position. And if he has that in his arsenal a lot more, then you know he's not necessarily unbeatable, but he's still going to be a much stronger player, and that's what catches him out, and has caught him out. But for the time being, he's back all square, 4 racks all. Thank you to Albinario, says Stubb. Now the 2 ball was tracking that time, but it's gone to the long rail first. But the table is safe. So Albinario calling the push out. Now again, the push out is so important because he does not want to leave Stubb an easy shot here to put Albinario in trouble, and he might well have done it. I think he has. I mean, Stubb can just roll the one onto the end rail and finish in amongst those balls there where the 10, the 8 and the 6 is, and Albinario's in trouble. I mean, that was asking for that every time. You know, you've got to, I mean, if you're playing a push out, you've got other options. You can move balls rather than playing the object ball, and sometimes players don't think enough about it, because all you're doing is just leaving your opponent an easy option to put you in trouble. And Stubb has a thin cut in the 1. He might not even risk it. I mean, he could easily run for cover again here. Okay, if he pots it and the cue ball runs, there's a strong chance he'll see the 2. But can he resist it? Can he go for the safety, or is he going to go all out? Well, there's the answer to that one. And now he has to back himself, and straight away he's got a long way to travel to get anywhere near this 3, and he's only got limited space and one pocket that it's really going to go into. Big draw, played it well. Now 4 ball. It goes past the 9, but the angle he's got in the 3, he could just run forward off the short rail and still get on this 4. Yeah, he's gone on the safe side. Again, he's just gone too far though for comfort. This is already, you're seeing that things are just a wee bit looser than they need to be to keep in prime control here, because the important shot's coming up next. If he gets on this 5, he's got to find a way to get on the 6. And now has to avoid the traffic. Is he going for the gap between the 9 and the 7? It seems to be the line off that 5 is going that direction. I don't think he can avoid it. He's just got to avoid hitting him. That would be a big dig into the cue ball to draw it and control the pace, and that is not a bad effort. It was not easy to get prime position on the 6. He still left a high cut. Well, the reason he's quiet at the moment is he's not behind. He'll not be quiet for much longer after that one, because that's hung up and it's given Albi the chance. Yeah, Stubb only gets vocal when he's trailing. I mean, he'll be like that when he misses the odd ball, but he'll only get really his typing fingers working if he starts falling behind. You'll see that happen if it does happen. That's a guarantee. So remember what I said as well about running out of shots. I mean, that's perfect evidence there, where Stubbs trying his damnedest, albeit with difficult shots, to get prime position, but you're just going to run out of shots. You just cannot keep pulling them off, and that's what he relies on. And when they start to go wrong, he starts losing racks. He's got to temper his ambitions with common sense, and sometimes the safety will always be the better option than going all out every time, because this is the end result. This time Albinario is back into the lead. Look at that rack. That rack's all over the place. Free ball was tracking that time, but nothing has gone, and nothing on for Stubb. Now let's see where Stubb pushes, because if he calls the push, he could be in trouble again if he plays to the top end of the table. If you go anywhere up that top of the table, you're asking for trouble. I think you've got to play a push out down here rather than up the table, because it gives Albinario the chance to escape and get down here to where we are. Well, let's see what he's thinking. If he goes to the top rail like he's doing there, he should be in trouble next shot. In fact, Albinario, let's have a look at the angle he's got here. Albinario might fancy rolling that in, believe it or not. Although look at the three ball. The three ball isn't going anywhere. The one thing Stubb has done though is, with that shot, he has blocked the path with where the 7 ball is. I think Albinario is going for the pot. Yep. Very tight. So Stubb with his push out, although I wouldn't have pushed there myself, but it's going to work for him. He's got a shot, and assuming that he gets the 2 with the angle that he has, if he avoids the 5, he has a very, very small window to get on that 3. Let's be honest, nigh on impossible to get it perfect. Good evening, Tin. Enjoy your dinner. Again, Stubb taking his time. Well, I honestly don't know what he really tried there, whether he was trying to get into the jaw, but okay, he's not left it safe. But Albinario can't refuse the pot, but he's got the same problem in getting this cue ball out to that right hand side to try and find that small gap, but he's not interested either. He doesn't fancy it. So now Stubb can get distance. I was just about to ask there, is anybody watching on YouTube? I've just seen that there. I was wondering whether it was all working okay. And that's pretty good distance. Now Albinario has a chance, the big chance, to get this thin, get the pace. He's played this perfect. If it runs, and that is pretty good to me. It's not a full snooker. I think there's just a feather edge of that one, the two showing. Stubbs having a look at the 5, but I think he's just more inclined to try and get a hit on this and leave it safe. Well, he's got a bit of running there. 7 ball coming to the rescue. Well, this is an interesting exchange at the moment because neither player wants to risk taking the 2 for fear of not being able to see the 3, but sooner or later somebody's going to have to grab the bull by the horns, as they say, and make that move, unless they can get a good safety on the 2, that is, to gain the initiative. Quick look to see this 2. Yeah, that's not going, it's too tight. So he can use the 5 as a stopper if he pushes the 2 to the rail and then brings this cue ball down the table. That would be the simple shot. He's tried to tuck it away and he's made a pretty good job of it. And that is actually pretty good. I mean, Albinario can kick it easy enough. So he's probably going to call the top right hand corner pocket, although he's looking at it from this side. But if he chips this 2, the 5 surely got to keep the cue ball there. I don't like this shot so much. I think he's got to take the risk of the kick, just for the sake of playing a legal shot. If the 2 doesn't go in, then again it's up to Stubb. If he can pot the 2 to take the initiative or maybe play a safe again. So there's a fair bit of strategic thinking to be done here. We're all assuming that Albinario will get the hit, and he's got the pot, but of course the following problems what we see here. But he can see the edge of the 3. Now what does he do? Because there's a big double kiss on here. He's bound to run into something. He's looking to, if he just kicks the 3 and checks, what's the line like he's got? He's not really got that option either. He's just got to try and brush onto the 3 and get to the rail, but he's then going to concede control to Stubb, who will push the 3 up the table and lock him. Yes, he can get through, but he can only do that. And that again is perfectly judged because it's blocked Stubb out. Again, an easy hit. Now Albinario can punch the 3 and he needs to hope it doesn't run into the 7. Well, he wasn't hitting it hard enough for her to get it away up the table, but again, the end result is still good. So this is a very interesting rack, because now the 3 ball is in play, and well, it's the only problem ball, the 3 ball. Everything else is there, so it's all on this exchange over the next minute or so as to how this rack's going to pan out. Albinario with a 5-4 lead. Can he get that 2 rack gap, or is Stubb going to stay on his tailcoats, or coattails? I'll say it the right way around at some point. Oh, here we go with the 25-minute tippy tapping. Now, with this shot, Stubb can bank the 3 or cross bank it and run for cover, but he didn't want to bring it into play at all. So Albinario can go behind the 3 if he wants, or just brush off it, but sooner or later somebody's going to have the escape route. And Albinario took the risk, and it's given Stubb the chance he's been waiting on. Well, thinking about it, where the 5 is, the problem ball is the 6. Once the 4 goes out the way, where's the cue ball going? Oh goodness me, look at that. No wonder Stubb's slightly annoyed. He's gone and hooked himself behind the 6, and the 6 is still the problem ball, because it ain't going past the 10, it's far too tight. And now suddenly Albinario is the favourite for this rack, but can he get from that 5 to the 6? I wouldn't quite mark this onto the scoreboard yet, folks. Albinario's looking at the 6. He probably can see that it's very tight and would maybe squeeze by if you were dead straight behind the 6 like that, but is he going to leave it stone dead where the 5 ball is and play it from distance? That is a tall order to get that straight in. Now he's playing the draw, or is he just killing it? If it's the big draw, he's bound to have a sight in the 6 somewhere. Well, wrong angle on the 6. Now, if he's just to roll that in, cue ball is going here, somewhere over this direction, and he'll be looking at the 7, and then it'll be the big follow through in the 7 off that end rail and back down for the 8. Well, he's went for draw and that hasn't worked out. I don't know why he didn't just roll it in, because now he's in no man's land, and whatever option he chooses here, it is not easy. Maybe he thought he was more inclined to head towards that corner pocket, which is why he played the draw, to avoid any risk of scratching, but this hasn't got him in any better position. All out for the 7, and he hasn't put any inside left on it. He's just drawn it to the side rail, which is why he's leaving himself the long cut. If he played that all out with inside left, the cue ball would have punched around the angles and come up the table. So this is essentially rack ball, and that's well played, and he's back in control. But more importantly, it's the first break in the match in terms of opening up the gap. It's going to go to 2, and Stubbs' unforced error, locking himself behind the 6, has cost him the rack. And now there's a 2 rack gap. What did I tell you earlier, folks? The chat started. Stubbs now trailing, but Albinario's break is dry. I think the Stubb will chat all night there before he gets any sort of response out of Albinario. Well, he pots the 1. He's looking at the 2, but really it's just a safety. Got to gain the initiative in this rack. He's just got to the rail and no more. That cue ball. And Albinario is in deep trouble here. He can't get to the 2. But what he should be doing is making sure that things are not easy when Stubb gets ball in hand. So he's just going to chip the 5 in towards the 10. He's going to leave himself open to the 3 fouls, because Stubb will have an easy safety shot. Now, is that 2-5 a combo? Well, that's dead set. Well, that's not worked out. And in the blink of an eye, that safety pushed the 5 on for a combo with the 2, and it's given Stubb a chance. And them are the breaks, folks. That's exactly what happens. Just the odd wee thing. So Stubb has made his mind up. He's going all out to win this rack. And again, the 6 ball is Stubbs' nemesis in these last 2 racks, because he's run into the 6 and he's going to have to chip this, but the 3's off the rail. He should get it. Can't afford a mistake in this visit. Trailing by 2. Well, he's gone pretty straight on this 7, and that's now got him in trouble. Big draw into open country. That was the only option there. So this match has been on for about 50 minutes or there or thereabouts. No, how long have we? When did we start? 6:45. No, an hour and 5 it's been on. Yeah, I'm losing track of time. I was thinking it started at 7. It was 1:45 the hour, and Stubb is back to within 1. Oh, it's always a guarantee. I mean, if Stubb was to fall, I mean, if Stubb was like 4 racks behind right now, the chat would be full of his bullshit. Most certainly. And there's no reason for him to be alarmed at the moment. He's back within 1. Well, we've got the 9 and 10 locked up. The 4's going nowhere. No great shot in the 2. So he's going to try and run the cue ball back across off the left rail and over towards this 10 and 9 for a safety, I would assume. Well, no real reason to be alarmed either, because even though he's left the 2 on, there's nothing happening down here for Albinario. But he certainly wants to get this cue ball down the table here off this 2. He doesn't want to be running to the 4 from distance, because that's when things can go wrong when you're trying to play a delicate safety. Now, how does this look? Is he looking to chip the 4? This is far too thin if he's looking for the billiard. I think he's looking for the billiard. He's got to get this really flush and avoid a double kiss here. And he got the double kiss. Hard to pick up, but it was a double kiss. Once again, good evening to any latecomers, any shy ones in the chat. Well, Stubb certainly doesn't want to do anything to break out the 9 and 10. Well, he's left Albinario hampered over that 10. But with a fairly straight in 4, a shot in a 5, and well, provided he gets that far, he's going to have to do something that breaks that 9 and 10. Now the question is when he's going to take that risk. First of all, he's running out of balls to do it, and secondly, if he was going to leave it till the 8 ball, that makes it extremely difficult, unless he wants to try and play the billiard again and skim the 9 and catch the 10. So we're going to find out. Well, that's too straight, so I don't think he's got much choice here. There's a slight angle on the 7, but I don't think it's any sort of shot to try and do anything and still hope to be on the 8, so he needs to get that idea out of his head. Well, I think it's going to be try and get as close to the rail as he can. The angle he's got in the 8 doesn't allow him to get into that 9 and 10, I don't think. So it's going to be the billiard. And once again, he's got a much easier shot here than he had previously. But if he gets it too thick straight away, he's just going to go to the jaw. In fact, he's got it all wrong. He's missed the 9, would you believe it? He's actually missed the 9 ball going for the billiard. Got it far too thin. In fact, so thin he never touched it. And it's a gift for Stubb. and Stubb can't believe his luck. Well, that's a major error considering how close he was with the 9 and the 10 to actually miss the 9 completely. And is that going to fire up Stubb? Because he's broke off the 2, the 4 and the 7 have gone, but no shot in the 1, and the double kiss there has almost ruined the safety, but he's got away with it. And so Stubb back on level terms, but a big error by Albinario there. I think that was what he was worried about getting the 10 too thick. It would just knock it into the jaw, and he erred far too far away on the other side and missed the 9. Amazing that he was so close to the 2 object balls and missed the first one. Well, Stubb has his chance to take the lead. An awkward 1 ball to start, but he should be seeing the 3. And that brush off the 5 has left it awkward again, but again, doesn't need to really worry an awful lot about the cue ball. So it's up and down the table for the 6. Now, what's happened here? He's going to be wrong side of the 6. Well, does he just roll this in, go up and leave this high in the 8, or does he risk running around the table? Yeah, he's left it in bedhead territory, but he should get this in. It's not a tough cut. Plenty of room to cheat the pocket here, as long as you don't punch that 8 into the rail straight away. It should go in. And it goes. Well, he's got a problem here. He's just got to roll this in, queuing over the 10, just looking to pick the line and just get enough on it to just pot that 9 and do nothing else. But it's Stubbs' chance to take the lead midway through the match, and a big mistake from Albinario has cost him, and it's also cost him the lead. So Stubb leads by 7 racks to 6. And what was that? And the 1 ball. The 1 ball is gone. He's going to call the bank, and if he does, he's going to then be punching that 3 ball around the table unless he can get to it to play a cut. But the angle that he's got in the 2 isn't going to help him do that. So he has the upper hand at the moment. The bank has been called, but he's got to keep this cue ball out in the open here so that he can actually play the safety on the 3, or Well, that's entirely wrong. That is a big mistake there, because now he's having to kick safe, which he should do. Now Albinario needs to get this feather touch thin. Well, he's called the 10 just in case, but he's not playing the 10. He's just trying to skim it. Well, he is playing the 10, and in it goes. What a shot! Wrong one. Well, he's called the 10 just in case, but he's not playing the 10. He's just trying to skim it. Well, he is playing the 10, and in it goes. What a shot! Well, that was some shot there by Albinario, and it's quickly got him tied up at 7 racks all. I didn't think he was going for that. I did not think he was going for it. I think most of you guys watching that there would, if you were going to admit it, you would have thought exactly the same as I was thinking. He was going to skim that 3 ball as light as he could, and he was going to just run over towards the 10 off the rail and try and get that safe. And that kiss off the 7 drops the 10 in dead weight. Well, what a bonus that was for Albi, and fair play to him. He called it and he got it. So we've seen some. I think we've seen 3 of the best shots of the tournament tonight. I think we have. Certainly I've seen at least 2, and if that wasn't the 3rd, I don't know what else was. Albinario again has the upper hand, and that's not going to get to rail. I honestly don't know what the hell Stubb was thinking there at the pace he played that shot. How was an object ball going to get to a rail off that shot there? That's amazing. And I think Stubb has been stunned by that 10 ball in the last rack there, because he's certainly lost the place with that shot. And if Albinario can somehow take this out, again it just drives the message home. But this is not easy to run. Look at the 4, the 10 and the 6, they're all lined up. And it's going to have to be a combo, and it's going to have to be a wee bit of luck here as to where this 4 ball ends up. Now is the 10 ball maybe going to go in? Now this is where Albinario is called the 6, and you never know, the 10 might drop as well, and then it all backfires. Well, he's making sure, and I think he was trying to leave the billiard, and he's going way close. Now what's he trying to concoct here? He's trying to skim the 4 and brush the 10. If he doesn't get this in, he would have just left an easy combo for Stubb. So at least he's hit it, but he's left. Well, either way, Stubb's got a pot in the 4. The 5 goes. If he gets this 4, it's rack over, and he's back in the lead. Oh, I couldn't do that because there's hours of footage to go through. That's for people who like doing editing and stuff like that. I would love to do that, but I've not got the time nor the patience to do anything like that. But again, we have seen 2 if not 3 of the best shots that I've seen. I can't remember the Spectre Dawn one, and I can't remember whether it was a match I was streaming, but we've seen some high quality shots here, and some duff ones as well, it has to be said, but you're always going to get a mixture of both. But it looks like Stubb is going to take the lead again, and anything but straight on this 9 ball if he can help it. He's got a good angle on the 8, so he should be well away. Was I streaming it? I can't remember it. Well, that's the thing. That's why your choice of shots as to what you think's the best shot is an objective thing. It depends on the risk factor, the state of the match, that type of thing. But I mean, there've been good quality shots. Let's just be diplomatic and say that was the case. But anyway, to matters in hand, the 7 ball has gone on the break, and it's going to be, well, let's have a look and see if he can get there. Can he? No, he can't, I don't think. Oh yes, he can, but he couldn't get enough of it. I'm actually right in the middle. This is because I haven't eaten a dinner, and I'm right in the middle of migraine symptoms right now, because I am looking at the table and my left eye is seeing a big shimmer. This is how bad my migraines get nowadays. I get the shimmering effect, but it doesn't go to sickness and other things, which it used to do, because I always made sure for the last few years that I've been eating at the right time. And if I don't eat, and for an extended period of time, then it brings on the migraine symptoms, and I've got one right now. I don't get the really painful headaches. I get a dull head, but not well, anybody that gets migraines knows what I'm talking about. I mean, I used to get them bad, but I'm talking coming out both ends as symptoms. That's how bad they were. Waking up in the middle of the night, cold sweat, the blurred vision, the shimmers that you get on your vision, all of that stuff, and then sickness and diarrhea to follow. I had all of that, and that was all because when I worked in retail before, I used to go to work without a breakfast. Sometimes it'd be busy when I was supposed to go for my lunch. Sometimes I wasn't getting something to eat till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's when I was getting really bad migraines. But I've got a symptom right now, but it's not as bad as anything like it used to be. Well, this is a vital visit for Albinario, if ever there was one, because the shoes near their foot, Stubbs got the lead, and Albinario has got a problem to deal with, and it's very likely he could try and stun over behind the 6, or he could come all out for the 6-9 combo. Well, he's went for the stun, and there's what happens. He has got himself blocked out, I think. Or has he? No, he hasn't. He can see it, and therefore he can pot it down the rail. Well, this is a clincher. This is an important pot on this 6 ball. He needs to watch that middle pocket as well, by the way. Oh, it's a good pot. It needs to keep running though. This is the one. This is make or break. It's got to be flush, and he's dead straight on this 9. And there wasn't much he could do with it, but he certainly wanted to get a bit more in it than that. Now, well, this is, I think this is just going a wee bit too far to string this one together. This is a tough shot, this 10 ball. Yeah. And so is that a critical point in the match. Albinario trying his damnedest to get it back all square, but he's left a gift for Stubb, and Stubb now has the 9-7 lead in this race to 14, and the 1 ball gets kicked into the right middle. No shot in the 2 though. Who's complaining? I haven't been reading the chat. Who's complaining? We've not got another arsehole in the chat, have we, that we have to deal with? I don't know what's going on in the chat. I'm too busy watching the game. But there should be admins on both chats on Steam and YouTube to take care with any numptiness. Well, obviously can't avoid hitting the 4. He's went for the big blast, and it's all worked out. It has worked out perfect as far as getting on the 3's concerned. He's checked the cue ball up the middle for the 5, and Stubb could very well be making his move big time here at the right time. What does SMH mean? What the hell does it mean? That's got me puzzled. And who's Karen? Well, if somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, they can bugger off and go into the room and watch it then, can't they? That's a simple solution. Oh, it wiped its feet, and Stubbs, well, he's overhit it big time, so much that he's on the 7 into the middle. That certainly isn't where he wanted to play it from. Well, this is going to be the first time in the tournament that Albinario has been asked a serious question. And is he going to be able to respond? Because he's looking extremely likely to be 3 racks behind. Well, this is a big dig into the 9 ball. Well, not risking it, content to play it long. and in it goes. And so Stubb has widened the gap, and it's gone to 3 with the break. And it's pretty safe. Dry break. But, well, these balls, the 10 ball, I think that's twice the 10 balls finished in on that point in the rail there. And Albinario has played a fairly weak safety. I think he's left enough of this one exposed here, and Stubb might run into the 10 as well. Well, he's gone for a blast. Oh, how's that for luck? And Stubb getting confident. Hopefully for his sake, not overconfident, but he's got away with it. Oh, well, Albinario has not got cover, and Stubb, does he want to go through and come into the table, or is he going to try and get lucky again here? Because the angle he's got in the 1, he's running towards the 8. Oh, he's got lucky again. He's got the double kiss, which has put him plumb on the 2. Well, Stubb, when's he going to admit that he gets his fair share of luck in the last couple of shots? Well, Albi doesn't need to crumble if Stubb ends up getting lucky rolls like that. But it's not the lucky rolls that you get, it's what you make of them. Because you've still got to stick the balls in the hole at the end of the day. And the problem ball is still the 10 ball. But the 9 ball being very adjacent is very handy for rolling into the middle. Well, Albinario is just going to have to bide his time. He doesn't have a lot of racks to play with, but he's not down and out yet. And of course the worst case scenario is he's only moving to the 1 loss side, so he ain't out of the tournament. Now, how's this finished? Well, this is giving Stubb a bit of a dilemma. Does he go forward? Yes, he goes forward. Now, that is just off the rail. And the miss has come, and Albinario will breathe a sigh of relief. He's going to pinch one back, and more importantly he's going to have the break, and hoping for a ball and a shot to try and turn this match again. 3 ball nudges a 2, it hasn't, and the break's dry. What's Stubb got here? Not a lot. Try to squeeze the 1 in, and he's fluked to 2. How about that? There's another bit of a roll there for Stubb. How many's that he's had in the last 2 racks? Come on, start counting them. so that we can actually pull Stubb up about it. He's had some amount of luck in these last few racks. Oh shit, I forgot. It totally went out of my head there. Thanks for saying that. I'm getting carried away. I was getting carried away. I'm thinking it was 9 ball. I'm getting so excited. Who's that asking what FTS means? Let me get up out my chair to read that. You mean you don't know, semi-pro? Oh Christ, I'm a numpty. I forgot about that. It means fuck this shit. That's what it means in plain English. And this is an adult channel. It's not for kiddies. What the hell's happened here? Right, Albinario, speed up your replay. Oh, that's a cracker of a shot. He's got himself hooked right behind the fort, and after having been given a free go by Stubbs' fluke, which I totally forgot about, was a miscall. And that's another reason I haven't my dinner either, so have a bit of sympathy for me. What's that one? RP13, what does that mean? Why is everybody talking in a foreign language? I don't understand what that means. Real Poland 13. Translate that for me. Now I know what you mean. There's no PG-13 in here. Well, it's none of my videos. You have to declare on YouTube, which is a bit of a bore. You have to legally claim that your video is the videos that you're streaming are not for children. The good thing about it is, though, you can get into your setup and actually make sure that all your videos are like that. You don't have to do it for every video. You just have to make sure you check a box so that if the language gets colourful and things like that, then you're not going to offend any kiddies. Well, it's a sore one for Albinario because he had a gilt-edged chance to get back within 1, and now he's trailing by 3 and Stubb breaking. 3-ball tracking, but it's dry, and Albinario with no real shot on this 1-ball, but he's got to find a good safety. And that hasn't got there either. And Albinario is losing the plot here because he's left the 1 on, the 2's on, the 3 goes if Stubb can get up the table. And it's all happening at the wrong time for Albinario's chances. Well, maybe it is to do with that as well. I mean, they put ads on your videos yet, but I won't get caught out. My channel's definitely not got videos. I'm not streaming any videos for children. Well, Albinario's been given a lifeline. Stubbs covered himself on the 3. And that will be ball in hand. And Albinario is now at the stage where it's no miss. He cannot afford to go further behind. He has to stay in the match. And he's looking around, just plotting his way out. And this 3 to 4 is still a problem. I mean, the 4's right in the middle of the table, but it's amazing how weird things can go when you think you've got all the room in the world to get on it. He's going to go square in this. You see what I mean? I mean, this is not where he wanted to be. And straight away, he's got a big problem. The pot in the 4 and getting to the 5, and he wants to just draw down towards the 9 to try and get to this 5. Well, he's trying the soft draw and the little spin, and I think he's controlled that as best as he could there. It's not a bad effort at getting in the 5. And then we've got the shot from the 7 to the 8. Wide open spaces, it all looks easy, but it's amazing what that wrong angle can do to the next shot. Well, now he's got no option. It has to be forward and around the angles and head back down towards the 9. Well, he's trying to go on the shorter side and he's left it extremely tough. And once again, he's left it in the bedhead territory. Has to get it in. And now, no option but to go up and down. But has to make sure he comes over the right side. He doesn't want to go down the narrow side here. Got to come down the right as we look. And that will do if it slows up. And that was a vital visit for Albinario. Back to within 2, but needs something to happen here on this break. And he's bringing the cue ball forward to the line again. 8 balls tracking, but it's run into the 2, and the break is dry, but the break is safe. Well, now Albinario has the upper hand. He's got an easy safety and should have Stubb in trouble. Got to hide that cue ball. And that is now giving him a big upper hand here, but Stubb thinks he can get, I think the gap's there, yeah. And he's called the 1 just in case into this corner pocket. And he's judged the pace well because he's left it safe, and that's another good shot. It was just pocket weight for that 1 ball, but if it wasn't going in, it was going safe. And not a bad response from Albi, but this time I think, let's see whether he has a similar line to get to this 1 ball. Well, this time he's going to have to maybe put a wee feather of English on this. Yeah, he's misjudged it. So difficult because the line wasn't perfect. He had to just put a wee bit of right on it, a tiny feather, and ball in hand to Albinario. But it's not a pretty table, and I don't think he's even risking it because it's so difficult to get anywhere on the 2. He's looking at his options, but I don't think they're that good, to be honest with you. I mean, he can he can still run off the 1 and play another safety, but I mean, what does he risk here on this visit? Well, we're about to find out. He thinks he's going to roll through, get to the top rail, and that might have gone too far. Let's see it. No, I think he can just bend it round, but the spin will take the cue ball away up the table from the 3 if he doesn't play this dead weight. This spin will spin the cue ball away. Well, he stunned it and he's managed to bend it and hold it. That was excellent. Oh, this is another pressure visit. Presuming he can see the 3. He can just see it and no more. Excuse me, guys. So for any latecomers, this is a round 5 match in the VP4 10 Ball Masters, or 10 Ball World Championship if you want to call it, 2020. And Stubb, Real Poland Power, has a 2-rack lead in this race to 14, and Albinario is fighting to keep himself in the match and to get back within 1. Well, now he's got a big problem. Wrong angle for comfort's sake on this 6 ball. He's checking the cue ball to try and brush off the 8, and that is perfect. Got a straight line on the 7. A little kill shot, nothing else. And whatever you do, don't run up the table and hook yourself behind the 10. That'd be the worst shot of the night to do that. And he's making sure. And this 10 ball should be going into the left middle, or maybe to push this bottom left hand corner, but well, he's gone all around. Had to make sure he got there. Could have played the simpler shot, but he let the cue ball run. But this we're back within 1. And he's still waiting on a break to work from Albinario, I think. I don't think he's had really much happen for him, but if it's going to happen, the best time would be now to get a ball in a shot and actually just run out and keep his opponent quiet. Well, he's got the first part of it, but look at where the 1 ball's ended up, and the bottom of the table is ugly. Well, it's uglier than where the 10, the 7 and the 4 are, so there's not much on here. If he pots the 1, he'll have control of the table, but he won't have much else. Well, this is what, if you're going to win the tournament, you have to produce the goods when the question's been asked of you, and Albie managed to do it there, but he's still going to have to do a bit more. Well, in the end, I don't know what he tried there, because now he's given Stubb ball in hand, and that's all gone wrong immediately. And the control of the table has gone to Stubb, and Stubb's lining up a 110 combo. Well, this is a bit ambitious. He's just got to catch that 1 ball, that 10 ball perfect here. He's got no room past the 7, or very little room. But this for a quick rack and to stretch the lead again. Well, I didn't want to say anything there, but I didn't think he was lined up to get the right amount of that 10 ball there. I mean, he's the better judge of that than I am, but I didn't like the look of it. But, well, would you believe it, he's got it safe again. How many shots is that? I told you to start counting them. Now, is Stubb going to have one of his blasts here? He could call the 3 and smash everything to bits here. Or is he going to, is common sense going to prevail here? Because he could seriously give this a blast and just hope the 3 goes in. Yeah, I think he's running for cover. Well, Albinario can play a similar shot. He has to get this very light. And I think he's going the other way. He's trying to come in behind the 8 and 9. Oh, and that has got Stubb buried big time. But look at the mess of this table here. Now, what Stubb doesn't want to do is he doesn't want to open this pocket. So he's done the right thing. He's conceded ball in hand, and Albinario has got a major problem to deal with immediately, because whatever he does, he must disturb something there, or he's got to just pot the cue ball stone dead to leave sight in the 3. In fact, he's going to play the combo, but this 1 ball could go safe. I don't like this shot. I think he's got to pot the 1 into another pocket and then blast the 3 and just hope he gets lucky. Well, this match is, well, it's been simmering, but it might come to the boil in a minute. Well, I don't think that 4 goes past the 5. We'll have a quick look. Hang on. No, but it should be safe. And it is. And so Albinario has got Stubb on the rack at the moment. Now, when is Stubb going to run out of luck? It might be right now on that shot, because Albinario with ball in hand, well, it's another pressure visit. He knows he has to do it. We all know that. And the problem, if there's going to be one, he's already looking at it. It's that 8 ball. That is the big issue. Now, he's going to take a risk here. He's going to nudge it, and he's going to hopefully still be on the 6. And this 9 could block the 6, but he's played it well, and that's the initiative been taken, dealing with the problem ball, and now he has to go all the way. Where's the cue ball going here? What's he done here? He's just slowed up in time. I thought that was going to be nailed there. I think he's too straight, is he? No, he's got an angle. Now he could go forward again. The safest shot would be to go forward. You risk the scratch, but at least you're going around the angles and coming into the table, and you know you're going to see the 8 ball. He doesn't want to be coming back off this. You've got to go forward. I mean, look, a wee bit more aggressive, because now he's going to leave the high cut again on this 9, and he needs to look at the potting angle in this 8, because this is a narrower angle than he might think. He doesn't want to be thinking too much about the 9 when he's potting this 8. He just has to take his medicine. It's always going to be the high cut, but the angle he's got now, provided he doesn't run into the knuckle of that left middle pocket, he should be sitting fairly well on the 10 to square the match. But it's amazing what strange things happen when it looks all so easy. You have nothing to do with the cue ball. You pot the 9 and you run up the left hand side somewhere past the middle pocket, and you should be home and dry in this rack. Oh goodness me, I think he's overhit it big time. Oh dear. Well, I certainly wouldn't want this to tie the match. And he'll just be playing it pocket weight, so he's going to hang it up unless he runs for it. Well, he's no messing about. In it goes, and Albinario is back in the game. 11 racks all, and Stubbs still insistent that Albinario is lucky. Well, I think he's worked damned hard to get back to where he is, but he needs a break and a shot to ram home the advantage, and he might have just got it, because the 8 ball is gone, the 1 ball is awkward, and he'll be extremely unlucky if he can't see the 2. He's just got to ride that luck. Maybe he'll get a little bit of running. Now, why is Risk having a conversation with Stubb in the chat? Oh goodness me, it's happened again. And Albinario, this time, is he going to risk the jump? And I think he's a wee bit, that's a sign that Albinario is annoyed there, what he just did with the cue. You don't want to be getting involved with a conversation in the chat in the room with Stubb and inflaming any situation that there might be, or just encouraging him to chat more. You don't want to get involved. Not a good tactical manoeuvre by the admin, I have to say. Well, Albinario, after all the hard work, getting it back all square, he's found one of the places to lock himself out in the 2, and the worst case scenario is these balls are all on, and he's done the right thing. He's done the right thing in tying up the 6 and 10 and making sure that Stubb has to work for it. Well, I showed a link the other day there to the final of the 9-ball World Championship from 2017, or the 9-ball US Open, with Bedhead and Yamaguchi Taru. And you want to see the jump shots that Yama was playing. There was no jump cues in that tournament. I mean, we're talking close jumps, and he was doing them with a playing cue. And nobody's ever worked out how the hell he does it. Okay, he missed the odd one, but I mean, he was getting things you would never get yourself. Stubb at the table. Now I think is he going to take the risk on this 4-ball? He's got a chance. It's a big risk because he doesn't know he'll get in the 5. Yep. I think he tried to just get in the 5 and now it's all gone wrong. But Albinario, having tied the 6 and the 10 up, it still keeps him in the rack. Stubb looking for a decent safety, but well, I don't think he spent an awful lot of time thinking about it, because he's certainly not got it safe. And what's the angle like? Well, I think Albinario can actually run very close to this 6 and 10 here. I think he can't be far away. Oh, that has worked out a dream. That has worked out perfect. I think he can't be far away. Oh, that has worked out a dream. And so Albinario, the mistake made by Stubb, Albi was left with the angle to run into the 6 and 10. Well, I think it was a 10. And Albinario, at a critical point in the match, can take the lead, and Stubb is chattering away, assuming that Albinario has him muted, or is it paying absolutely no attention. He can pay full focus to the job in hand. And so Albinario, from looking almost down and out, very close to down and out, has got himself back in the match and back in the lead. And he's come up dry, and Stubb's going to have to call all his powers. He's going to have to fire up big time and take this rack out, and he's got every chance to do so because the balls are perfect here. There's not a problem. Well, there almost was a big problem there. He was almost behind the point. But this is a tough one. 3 to the 4. Well, he can see enough of it to pot it. Just enough. And he's overcut it. And where's the cue ball going? Would you believe it? It's going to go safe again, Stubb. That's got to be half a dozen now, guys. I mean, I'm not counting them, but it's at least 6. What about the rolls for Stubb? Come on. I'll tell you this. He wants to cut out this lucky stuff, because I've never seen anybody getting as much luck as what he's had. Talk about lucky rolls. And Albinario trying to chip it in, and in it goes. And how's his luck? Well, he ain't getting any, is he? He can't see the 5. I mean, he had that shot there, a sight in the 5 for a 2-rack lead, and now he's looking to find the kick and a bit of luck. Well, I don't think 80's quite as many, but he's had a few. Let's be reasonable here. I mean, he's been seriously lucky. He has had a fair share, more than his fair share of running in this match. And Albinario, when he wants to catch a break there with that shot that he played to bend the 4 in, or bend round to get the 4 in, he gets no luck to get on the 5. And that's going to be open, and this should be all square. I mean, if he'd hit it a wee bit harder, it would have been over towards the 6 there, and it would have been safe. we've now been on for just over 2 hours, about 2 hours and probably 5 minutes, and it's been well worth the watch. But what's Stubb doing here? He's left himself the high one again. Where's the cue ball? Where's the cue ball going? Goodness me. I win again. Where's the cue ball? Where's the cue ball going? And Albinario, with ball in hand, takes out the easy 9 and 10. And that could be the crucial error by Stubb, and Albinario is now on the hill, needing one more to take him through to the hot seat match with Spectre Dawn. Now what's happened there in the break? I didn't notice anything go in. There's some going in the middle. Yep, the 5 ball has gone. He's got a shot in the 1. If he gets this 1, this match should be over. I think it's well past the stage where anybody should be bothering about Stubb, because it's chat that's going up that's distracting Albinario as well. Just let him go on with it. I'll be focusing and taking this match out here. It needs to keep running. It needs to keep going. Well, he's on the right side of the 3. He can drop behind the 4. Take it long. Now how much of an angle has he got though? Well, that's not a problem. Just drop it in. Make sure he comes off the rail though. I don't think he wants to start thinking about anything elaborate here. You just want to be able to see that 4 in a good line and pot it. See, the more you look at this, the more you start seeing problems that aren't really there. You drop the 3 in, you run through, you hit the side rail and come out, and you take the 4 long. If you start thinking about drawing and doing this and that and the next thing, you put yourself in trouble. Well, you see, with that shot there, he just didn't hit it enough. But he knows that if he pots the 4 and he draws off it, he's on the 6, no problem. It's all hinging on this shot. And it's been a strong finish from Albinario. When the question has been asked, it has to be said, he has come through big time. It's not over yet, but I'm pretty much giving him it. And Stubb has nothing he can do about it. It has been strong these last half a dozen racks that we've seen, and Albi's not had his share of the running the whole match. Now the crucial one, and this is a difficult one to judge. From the 9 to the 10, does he come down inside the left, or does he go over right and risk the scratch? And he's safe. And Albinario has come good when it mattered. And he's going to go through, and Stubb has bottled it, and like the gentleman he is, he's quit like a wee girl. Well done to Albinario. A thoroughly deserved victory. I don't think anybody will disagree with that, and I think the class and the positional play and the touch is what won out in the end, and that's where Stubb was found wanting. And so Stubb is going to have to battle it out on that 1 loss side, race to 10, and he's going to find it tough there as well. So it's been a very enjoyable match. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. my migraine symptoms have gone, and I can enjoy something to eat in a little while. But Albinario was streets ahead in those last few racks there, and how he performed. He under extreme pressure to take out those racks that he took, get himself back in with a fighting chance, and in the end was way too strong for Stubb. Stubb will not admit that, but he was a different class from Stubb, and Stubb's weakness is what cost him. That touch and finesse that you need wasn't there. Stubb got all the luck, pretty much all of it, you would agree. Not been biased in saying that. Albinario wasn't getting a roll here or there when he needed it, but he was still more than good enough to take out the match. So what we'll do is have a quick look at the bracket, just to make sure we all know what's happening, if I can get there. Well, it's now updated. We've got Albinario through to play Spectre Dawn. I thought that was a hot seat match. Hang on a minute here. This bloody bracket, it totally does my head in. Yeah, it's a hot seat match. Yeah, that's to see who gets to the final. So it's going to be Albinario and Spectre Dawn. And now if we look at the one loss side, if I can get this damn thing to work. We will see that, where the hell is he? That Cobra is lined up to play Stubb in the one loss side, and that is, well, when's that due to be played? October the 11th. And then further down we've got Semi-Pro, who is already through, waiting on the winner of that match. So every match now is top notch, and we're all looking forward to them, guys. So if anybody's still there, thanks for watching. It's been very enjoyable. That was a great match and a great standard in the end by Albinario, and he was a thoroughly deserved winner, no doubt about it. Anybody that watches it will agree, thoroughly deserved, and the best player won in the end as well. And Stubb is going to have to, well, produce the goods to get to the final. So with that, guys, thanks a lot for your company. I hope you can join us for the rest of the matches of this tournament. I hope I can get them. I'll be there to get them. And if you can't see them and I've got them, then go to YouTube. They'll be uploaded there, and you'll be able to watch them again if you want. So I will bid you good night. Thanks for your company. Stay safe, take care, keep your distance, and I'll see you all again soon. Let's go out with a flourish.